The live action Lilo and Stitch trailer has just dropped and it looks incredible. There's so much detail put into adapting the animated movie to live action, but like all live action adaptations, Disney will be implementing some changes. What are those changes? How will this story differ from the original movie? We have the answers to that, so without further ado, let's dive straight in. The new Lilo and Stitch movie is taking the internet by storm, and it looks set to be a successful outing for this reintroduction of Stitch for the Disney company again. But throughout the trailer I noticed many differences to the live action movie that may be being overlooked. Changes are to be expected of course, but let's see how much Disney has moved away from the source material with this movie. So without further ado, let's just dive straight in. The first thing I've noticed is the escape from the detention centre appears to be different than the animated movie. Stitch is seen running through the corridors as the extended guns chase after him, as opposed to the animated movie where he played a trick. Then the next noticeable difference is the overall scope of Hawaii in comparison to the animated one. The cartoon didn't really showcase much of the Hawaiian location. It was more within a small town that led to Lilo's home, and it was like a very small community in Hawaii. But the live action, however, shows this on a much larger scale. It pans the Hawaiian island of Oahu perfectly. Then the Hawaiian hula dance performance appears to be a larger scale here. In the animated movie we had Lilo, the other kids and the dancers behind them whilst they were being observed. In the live action it appears to be a full performance in front of attendees, meaning the embarrassment Lilo feels at messing up here is likely going to hit much harder than it did in the cartoon. The next noticeable difference is Lilo's response to Stitch. Lilo in the cartoon was so subtle with her reactions and tended to be unfazed by a lot when it came to Stitch, but in the live action movie however, she is seen to be screaming upon when she's first introduced to him. That's a huge difference and shift from the animated movie. Then we have the car scene. There wasn't a single scene similar to this in the animated movie, so this whole sequence is unique for the film. It's a lot more realistic seeing Nani and Lilo using a car as opposed to running everywhere like they did in the animated movie. It's like I said, the animated movie's town was very much like a small community, so they were able to just run into town, like literally run, whereas that's not what Hawaii's like at all. The next major difference is the restaurant scene. This occurred at night in the animated movie, however it's now during the day. Also Stitch was sat next to Lilo in the animated and he was just bored, kind of looking around, but in the live action he is forced to buckle up inside a baby high chair. The removing of the collar and the rough noise he makes indicates that Stitch will be being forced to take on the role of a puppy a little more in the live action, which will be hilarious. Then Stitch hotwiring the mini vehicle is entirely new for the live action. I believe this will replace the little bike that he and Lilo travel around in the animated film, so it's going to be this whole car, so I think that that's going to be a big difference from the cartoon. The sequence on the golf cart is entirely new. This scene with the beach appears to be a replacement of the scene where Stitch smashes up the Toy City in Lilo's bedroom in the animated movie, but it also seems like it's the time when he's at the beach and frightens people away. Then him also chasing chickens is unique. The way Stitch is dragging himself on the floor is almost dog-like in this scene. This adds to the act like a dog that I mentioned. This is unique to the movie and it wasn't in the animated film, but I do think they're going to ask him to, portray a dog more, and he's going to be watching dogs and copying their mannerisms. Then the fridge sequence appears to be a combination of the animated movie. Firstly is the moment Nani is trying to drag Stitch away to say she's returning him. Secondly is the moment Stitch is seen raiding the fridge at night. They appear to have merged these two scenes into one and also slapped a comedic element to it with Nani getting hit by the fridge door. They likely will be different, or should I say flow differently when the movie is released. The whole Stitch bad scene is new, but it appears to be a rewording of the scene when Stitch questions family and such in the animated movie and was considering leaving. Actually, during that scene he didn't speak at all in the cartoon, so this is a nice change. Him drinking the lava lamp is entirely new. Minor I know, but the characters appear far more equipped for surfing here than they do in the animated version. Stitch even has armbands. So next is Cobra Bubbles. There's a huge shift on his character. In the cartoon he was a former CIA agent turned social worker. and he was following them around because he was observing Nanny's parenting of Lilo. Now here he seems to be still working for the CIA and is hunting Stitch himself with a special forces squad behind him. This is a huge shift from the animated movie. Then Jumba and Pleakley have completely abandoned their obvious alien attire in the world and instead have human disguises. I saw some complaining about this, but seeing these aliens walking around in hats and wigs would have fooled nobody. So, you know, they look fine. The whole sequence between them and the ice cream guy is unique to the live action as well. Then the closing scene with Stitch spraying Lilo with water is unique to the movie and wasn't in the cartoon at all. So there we have it, all the visible changes in the Lilo and Stitch live action. Personally, I'm fine with Disney making adjustments here and there, to plot points. It's when they deviate from characters and storylines that drive me insane. Like changing characters' motivations entirely or switching up a story to appear modern. I get going for realism, but how they've handled this is perfect. These changes make sense to me so far, and I cannot wait to see the movie in theatres. Is there anything that's been changed that you don't agree with? Or that you wish they hadn't? Drop a comment below and let's have a discussion about this. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more Disney news, lore and rumours. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you back here on Disney Lane at the Walt Disney Diaries.